Mantaray79 here, and welcome back to another deck profile video for Cardfight Vanguard Deer Days! Alright, let's begin. Pressing the A button now. Loading game and proceeding. Here we are in the main menu, off to edit deck menu. Here we are in the edit deck menu, and now in today's video, the deck profile I'm going to be making one for is a Keter Sanctuaries, Majesty Lord Blaster, D-BT10. Okie dokie, selecting the deck, entering edit deck, and off we go! Here we are in the deck menu, and like I just mentioned before, the deck I'm building in today's deck profile video is a Keter Sanctuaries, Majesty Lord Blaster deck, made up of cards only available up until D-BT10. And first, let's go to the filter settings and to pack, show only cards from D-BT1, Genesis of the 5 Greats, D-BT2, A Brush of the Legends, D-BT3, Advance of Intertwined Stars, D-BT4, Awakening of Chakrabarti, D-BT5, Triumphant Return of Brave Heroes, Festival Collection 2021, Festival Collection 2022, Promo Pack number 1, D-BT6, Blazing Dragon Reborn, D-BT7, Raging Flame Against Emerald Storm, D-BT8, Minerva Rising, D-BT9, Dragon Tree Invasion, and D-BT10. Dragon Masquerade. Applying filter, cards filtered. Let's begin. First up, the Grade 3 lineup. And now for the Grade 3 lineup. For the Grade 3s in this deck, we are playing Ride Deck, Grade 3, Majesty Lord Blaster. Skills. First skill, continuous as a Vanguard. If your soul has a Blaster Blade and a Blaster Dart, this unit gets plus 2000 power and plus 1 critical. Active on opponent's turn 2. Second skill, auto is a Vanguard. When this unit attacks a Vanguard, perform all of the following. You can choose to perform only one. First effect, put a Blaster Blade from rear guard into your soul. If the cost and paid, choose one of your opponent's rear guards and retire it. Second effect, put a Blaster Dart from your rear guard into your soul. If the cost and paid, this unit gets drive plus 1 until end of turn. So for Majesty Lord Blaster, it's the main Grade 3 to ride in this deck. Its skills, the first skill, as long as the conditions of the first skill are met, your Majesty Lord Blaster will then get a continuous plus 2000 power and plus 1 critical. And the best part is, this skill is active on your opponent's turn 2, so the increased 2000 power will make it harder for your opponent to land any attacks on your Vanguard, making this first skill a powerful offensive ability and a defensive ability. Second skill, when your Vanguard Majesty Lord Blaster attacks an opponent's Vanguard, you can pay the cost to not only retire your opponent's rear guards, but to also increase your Vanguard's drive check, giving you a better chance to either to get triggers or to restock your hand. And alrighty, the Grade 3, Majesty Lord Blaster, we have 4 in the deck, 1 in the ride deck, 3 in the main deck. Next up, the Grade 3, Normal Order, Gradia Gradel. Skills, first skill, continuous, Regulus piece. You may only have 1 Regulus piece in your deck and use it a total of 1 time in a fight. Second skill, Order, plays if you have a Grade 3 Vanguard of Persona Ride and you do not ride this turn, activate Persona Ride. Draw a card, all of your front row units gets plus 10,000 power this turn, and you are rewarded to have Persona Ride. So for Gradia Gradel, a powerful order card to play in any deck in the D standard format. If it's skill, when activated while the conditions of the skill are met, you can activate a Persona Ride effect, which is to draw more cards, to give your entire front row, Vanguard and rear guard included, a huge boost of power, and to also activate Persona Ride. Thus, any skills that require you to have Persona Road, this order card can substitute for that effect. And okie dokie, the Grade 3, Gradia Gradel, we have 1 in the deck. And at that, we just about covered the deck's Grade 3 lineup. Next, let's get on to the deck's Grade 2 lineup. And now for the Grade 2 lineup. For the Grade 2s in this deck, we are playing Ride Deck, Grade 2, Blaster Blade. Skills, first skill, auto. When this unit is placed on the Vanguard circle, cost, Counterblast 1. If the cost and paid, choose one of your opponent's rear guards and retire it. If you did not retire, draw a card. Second skill, auto. When this unit is placed on the rearguard circle, cost, Counterblast 1. If the cost and paid, choose one of your opponent's Grade 2 or greater rear guards and retire it. So for Blaster Blade, it's one of the main grade 2s to play in this deck. Its skills, the first skill, when ridden, by paying the cost, not only do you get to retire one of your opponent's rear guards, but if the secondary conditions of this first skill are met, you can instead draw more cards to restock your hand with. Second skill, when called, by paying the cost, you can retire one of your opponent's rear guards to give you a better advantage. And alrighty, the grade 2 Blaster Blade, we have 4 in the deck, 1 in the right deck, 3 in the main deck. Next up, the grade 2 Blaster Dark. Skills, first skill, auto. When this unit is placed on the Vanguard circle or rear guard circle, cost. Counterblast 1 and retire one of your other rear guards. If the cost is paid, choose one of your opponent's rear guards and retire it. And this unit gets drive +1 until end of turn. Second skill, continuous as a rear guard. During your turn, if your rear guard is retired this turn, this unit gets +5,000 power. So for Blaster Dark, one of the other main grade 2s to play in this deck, its skills, the first skill, when ridden or called, by paying the cost, not only do you get to retire one of your opponent's rear guards, but if a Vanguard Blaster Dark activated this ability, you can give it drive +1, giving you a better chance to get more triggers or to simply restock your hand of the additional drive checks. And the second skill, when the conditions of the second skill are met, your rear guard Blaster Dark then can serve as a potential 15,000 point attacker for your front row. And okie dokie, the grade 2 Blaster Dark, we have 4 in the deck. Next up, the grade 2 Magic of Alteration Turnar. Skill, auto as a rear guard. At the end of the battle this is attacked while boosted, if your damage zone has 3 or more face down cards, cost, put this unit into soul. If the cost is paid, countercharge 1. So for Turnar, a pretty good grade 2 to play in your Keter Sanctuary Nation decks for skill. After attacking while boosted, regardless if the attack hits or not, as long as the conditions of the skill are met, not only do you get to build up your soul for later soul blasting, but you can also refund your counterblast for later skills. And affirmative, the grade 2 Magic of Alteration Turnar, we have 4 in the deck. Up next, the grade 2 Spiral Cutie Angel. Skills, first skill, auto. When this card is discarded from hand during your right phase, cost Soul Blast 1 and put this unit in the bottom of the deck. If the cost is paid, draw a card. Second skill, auto. When this unit is placed on the rear guard circle, if you Persona wrote this turn, cost Counterblast 1. If the cost is paid, look at the top 2 cards of your deck, choose a card from among them, put it into your hand, put the rest on the top or bottom of your deck. So for Spiral Cutie Angel, another pretty good grade 2 to play in your Keter Sanctuary Nation decks for skills. The first skill, when discarded for a right deck cost by paying the cost, you can then not only draw more cards, but to also slightly restock your deck to postpone the chance of decking out. And the second skill, when called while the conditions of the skill are met by paying the cost, not only do you get to add 1 card to your hand from the top cards of your deck, but you can also rearrange the top cards to make it easier to know what you're going to drive check next, perhaps even to get a trigger. And alright, the grade 2 Spiral Cutie Angel, we have 3 in the deck. And next, the grade 2 Knight of Inheritance Emmeline. Skills, first skill, auto. When this unit is placed on rear guard from hand, cost Soul Blast 1. If the cost is paid, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, choose up to 1 unit card with Blaster and its card name from among them, call to rear guard, or reveal it and put it into your hand and shuffle your deck. If you put a card into your hand, choose a card from your hand and discard it. Second skill, auto as a rear guard. When your unit with Blaster and its card name attacks, this unit gets +5,000 power until end of turn. So for Emmeline, a support card for the Blaster series, her skills, the first skill, when called and by paying the cost, you have the chance to check the top cards of your deck for a Blaster to call to the front row as an attacker, back row as a booster, rear guard to whose skill you wish to take advantage of or to add to your hand for your later game strategy. And the second skill, while on the rear guard, whenever a Blaster on your field attacks, your Emmeline gets +5,000 power. And the best part for this second skill, it's stackable. For if you choose to attack multiple times with your Blasters, both your Vanguard and rear guard included, you'll be able to continue stacking more power into Emmeline, turning her into a powerful front row attacker to make it easier to pressure and finish off your opponent with. And okay, the grade 2, Knight of Inheritance Emmeline. We have 4 in the deck. And with that, we just about covered the deck's grade 2 lineup. Next, let's get on to the deck's grade 1 lineup. And now for the grade 1 lineup. For the grade 1s in this deck, we are playing right deck, grade 1, Little Sage Marin. Skills, first skill, auto. When this unit is rolled upon by a grade 2 with Blaster in its card name, look at the top 7 cards of your deck, choose up to 1 grade 2 with Blaster in its card name from among them, Reveal it, put it into your hand, and shuffle your deck. If you did not reveal a card, choose a Vanguard Brave from your soul and call it to rear guard. Second skill, continuous as a rear guard. During your turn, if you have 3 or more units, this unit gets plus 2000 power. So for Marin, it's the main Great 1 to ride this deck. Its skill is the first skill. When ridden on top of by a Great 2 Blaster, you have the chance to check the top cards of your deck for a Great 2 Blaster to help in your later game strategy. And in the chance you fail to get any blasters with this first skill, you can instead Superior Call Vanguard Brave from your soul to your rear guard to serve as a potential front row attacker or back row booster. And the second skill, as long as the conditions of the second skill are met, your Marin then can serve as a potential 10,000 point attacker for your front row or 10,000 point booster for your back row. And alright, the Great 1, Little Sage Marin. We have 1 in the ride deck. Next up, the Great 1, Aegis Mare Dragon, Sentinel, Perfect Guard. Skills, first skill, Continuous Sentinel. You may only have up to 4 cards with Continuous Sentinel in the deck. Second skill, Auto. When this unit is put on the Guardian Circle, choose one of your units and it cannot be hit until end of battle. If your hand has 2 or more cards, choose a card from your hand and discard it. So for Aegis Mare Dragon, it's a perfect guard for the Keter Sanctuary Nation. Like any other perfect guard in the Cardfight Vanguard trading card game, it features the same skill and activation, which is, when used to guard with, discarding 1 card from hand, you can block an enemy attack. But it also features an ability unique to all perfect guards in the D standard format, which is, when used to guard with, while you have less than 2 cards in hand, you will not have to pay the usual discard 1 cost, making Aegis Mare Dragon a potential no-cost perfect guard in desperate, last resort situations. And okie dokie, the Great 1, Aegis Mare Dragon. We have 3 in the deck. And next, the Great 1, Blitz Order, Elementaria Sanctitude. Skills, first skill, Continuous Sentinel. You may only have up to 4 cards with Continuous Sentinel in the deck. Second skill, Continuous, you may only have 1 Elementaria Sanctitude in the deck. Third skill, Order, if your opponent's Vanguard has Triple Drive, this ability can be played without paying the cost. Play this at a cost of, discard a card from your hand if your Vanguard is Grade 3 or less. If the cost is paid, choose one of your units and it cannot be hit until end of battle. Remove this card. So for Elementaria Sanctitude, it's the Blitz Order version of the Perfect Guard. Like any other Perfect Guard in the Cardfight Vanguard trading card game, it features the same skill and activation, which is, when played and by discarding 1 card from your hand, you can block an enemy attack. But ideally, Elementaria Sanctitude works best against opponents who play decks that specialize in having a Vanguard triple drive. For example, Grade 4s, G units, or Vanguards who have their drive checks increased by skill or card effect. Against such opponents, Elementaria Sanctitude then can serve as a potential no-cost perfect guard. And affirmative, the Great 1, Elementaria Sanctitude. We have 1 in the deck. And next, the Great 1, Knight of Old Fate, Cordelia. Skills, Continuous. From the back row center rearguard circle, if your Vanguard is Majesty Lord Blaster, this unit gets all of the following. First effect, Auto as a rearguard. At the end of the battle, this unit boosted. Cost, Counterblast 1. If the cost is paid, choose up to 1 Blaster Blade and 1 Blaster Dark, each from your soul, and call them to each rearguard in the same column. And the second effect, Continuous as a rearguard. If your opponent's Vanguard is Grade 3 or greater, all of your Grade 2 rear guards get boost. So for Cordelia, she's a support card for the Majesty Lord Blaster. Her skill is, while in the back row center rearguard circle, and the conditions of her first skill are met, you can pay the cost to activate a number of effects, which is, the first effect, after boosting by paying the cost, you can then Superior Call a Blaster Dart and a Blaster Blade from their soul to the same column to serve as a potential front row attacker and back row booster, which combos with the second effect, which is, as long as the conditions of the second effect are met, all Grade 2 rear guards can boost, including blasters, giving you a better chance of powering up your upcoming attacks to help you to pressure or finish off your opponents with. And confirmed, the Grade 1, Knight of Old Fate, Cordelia. We have 4 in the deck. And at that, we just about covered the deck's Grade 1 lineup. Next, let's get on to the deck's Grade 0 lineup. And now, for the Grade 0 lineup. For the Grade 0s in this deck, we are playing Ride Deck, Grade 0, Vanguard Brave. Skill, Auto. When this unit is rode upon, if you went second, draw a card. So for Vanguard Brave, it's the starting unit of this deck. Like any other starting unit in the D standard format, it features the same skill and activation, which is, when we're on the top of, if you're the second to go in the game, draw 1 card. And alright, the Grade 0 Vanguard Brave, we have 1 in the right deck. And with that, we just about covered the deck's Grade 0 lineup. Next, let's get on to the deck's trigger lineup. And now for the trigger lineup. For the triggers in this deck, we are playing Grade 0, Light Dragon D-BT Honors Amritonia, Overtrigger. Skill, trigger, additional effect. Until end of turn, you also perform drive checks for the battles or rear guards attack. So for Amritonia, it's the Overtrigger for the Keter Sanctuary Nation. Like any other Overtrigger in the Cardfight Vanguard trading card game, it features the same skill and activation, which is, when revealed during a drive check or a damage check, you get 100 million power and draw 1 card. But it also features an ability unique to it alone, which is, when revealed during a drive check on your turn, you can also give all of your rear guards the ability to drive check on their attacks, thus giving you a better chance to get triggers or to simply restock your hand if the increased drive checks. And alrighty, the Grade 0, Light Dragon D-BT Honors Amritonia, Overtrigger, we have 1 in the deck. Next up, the Grade 0, Blade Feather Dragon, Critical Trigger. Skill, auto as a rear guard. Until end of battle, this unit boosted. Cost, put this unit into your soul. If the cost is paid, choose one of your units, and it gets plus 2,000 power until end of turn. So for Blade Feather Dragon, a powerful critical trigger to play in your Keter Sanctuary Nation decks if it's skill. After boosting attack, regardless if the attack hits or not, as long as you don't mind moving Blade Feather from your rear guard into your soul, not only do you get to build up your soul for later soul blast, but you can also give one of the remaining attackers in your field, Vanguard or rear guard, a little extra power to work with. And okay, the Grade 0 Blade Feather Dragon critical trigger, we have 4 in the deck. Next up, the Grade 0 Daring Knight Saul critical trigger, we have 3 in the deck. Next up, the Grade 0 Protection Magic Parabi draw trigger. Skill, continuous as a guardian. If your opponent's Vanguard is Grade 3 or greater, this unit gets plus 5,000 shield. So for Parabi, a powerful draw trigger to play in your Keter Sanctuary Nation decks for skill. When used to guard with, while the conditions of the skill are met, Parabi then can serve as a potential 10,000 point shield all on their own. And affirmative, the Grade 0 Protection Magic Parabi draw trigger, we have 4 in the deck. Next, the Grade 0 Invigorate Sage heal trigger. Skill, auto. When this unit is placed on the Guardian Circle, if your opponent's attacking unit has attacked 2 or more times this turn, this unit gets plus 15,000 shield until end of battle. Active if this battle is its second attack this turn or more. So for Invigorate Sage, a powerful heal trigger to play in your Keter Sanctuary Nation decks if it's skill. When used to guard with, while the conditions of the skill are met, Invigorate Sage then can serve as a potential 25,000 point shield all on its own. Ideally, Invigorate Sage is a counter heal best played against opponents who play decks that specialize in restanding and attacking multiple times their units, Vanguard or rear guard. And confirm the Grade 0 Invigorate Sage, we have 2 in the deck. And up next, the Grade 0 Hardiness Tier Sorceress heal trigger. Skill, auto. When this unit is placed on the Guardian Circle, if the attacking unit's critical is 2 or greater, and its critical is increased by a non-trigger effect ability, or its original critical is 2 or greater, this unit gets plus 15,000 shield until end of battle. So for Hardiness Tier Sorceress, another powerful heal trigger to play in your Keter Sanctuary Nation decks if her skill. When used to guard with, while the conditions of her skill are met, Hardiness Tier then can serve as a potential 25,000 point shield on their own. Ideally, Hardiness Tier is a counter heal best played against opponents who play decks that specialize in increasing their attacking unit's critical, Vanguard or rear guard by skill or card effect. And alright, the Grade 0 Hardiness Tier Sorceress heal trigger, we have 2 in the deck. And with that, we just about covered the deck's trigger lineup. And with that, the deck's been built, card effects explained. For the cards in this deck, we are playing 4 Grade 3 Majesty Lord Blaster, 1 Grade 3 Gradia Gretel, 4 Grade 2 Blaster Blade, 4 Grade 2 Blaster Dark, 4 Grade 2 Magic of Alteration Turnar, 3 Grade 2 Spiral Cutie Angel, 4 Grade 2 Knight of Inheritance Emmeline, 3, Grade 1, Aegis Mare Dragon. 1, Grade 1, Elementaris Sanitude. 1, Grade 1, Little Sage Marin. 4, Grade 1, Knight of Volt Fate, Cordelia. 1, Wingull Brave, starting unit. And for the triggers in this deck, we are playing 1, Amertonia, over trigger. 7, critical triggers. 4, draw triggers. And 4, heal triggers. Okie dokie, deck built, card has explained. Now let's get on to testing out the deck. And here we are in the main menu, going to test out the deck, so heading over to fight menu, going to CPU fight, select the deck I just showcased, the Keter Sanctuaries, Majesty Lord Blaster, D-BT10 deck, and clicking the deck, and choosing my opponent. The opponent I'm gonna test the deck out on is Dragon Empires, Toshiki Kai, hard difficulty, and click. The battle begins, let's get started. And here we are in the fight, gonna decide who goes first, so rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Rock to rock, one more time. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Scissors to rock, I lose, going second. Drawing our starting hands, I got a Emmeline, a heal trigger, blaster dart, draw trigger, and critical trigger. An okay-ish hand, holding on to all normal units, redrawing all triggers. Redraw! Critical, blaster blade, and a counter charger. Sweet, good redraw. My turn. No, my opponent's turn. He rides the Grade 1, embodiment of armor bar. And of their turn, my turn. Stand and draw. I ride from the right deck, Little Sage Marin. Right deck cost, I am discarding Blade Feather Dragon, discard, and ride, Marin. Wingull skill. Draw one card. Draw. Let's see, Bar can activate a counterblast to search his deck for a Great Woman in Nehalem rides on top of it. That includes a perfect guard, so not gonna attack this turn, skipping my battle phase and letting my opponent go next. My opponent's turn. He rides the Grade 2, Dragon Nehalem. And now calling the back row a Gojo. 18,000 power. No guard, gonna take it. Drive check. No trigger. He still managed to get a perfect guard. How lucky of him. Ow. Damage check. Critical trigger. Wasted a critical. 2 criticals out the deck. Trigger effects wasted. And this is gonna be tough, so... End of their turn, my turn. Stand and draw. I ride from the right deck, Blaster Blade. For the right deck cost, I am discarding a draw trigger, Parabi, discard, and ride, Blaster Blade. Skill of Marin. I search the top cards of my deck for a blaster. Yes, a Blaster Dark, add it to hand. And then, here comes Blaster Blade skill, Counterblast 1, Counterblast, and retire Gojo. That ought to do it, and now call into the back row, Cordelia, call. And go into battle phase. Boosted by Cordelia, Blaster Blade attacks the Vanguard, 18,000 power. The attack goes through, drive check. Yes, critical trigger, lucky me. All affects the Vanguard. Hold on, that was close. All affects the Vanguard, critical up, and power up. That's 2 damage to the opponent, and... slash! Damage check. No trigger. Second check. Yes, no trigger. 2 good cards they could have used out of his deck. End of my turn, my opponent's turn. My opponent rides Dragonic Overlord. Nehalem skill. Superior Call. Nehalem skill again. Soul Blast 1 and giving power to himself and Overlord. Go into battle phase, Overlord the Vanguard, 18k. I guard with the critical trigger, Sawbill, and a Blaster Blade. Because, let's see, Overlord can restand after landing successful attack, so gotta block it. Guard, 30k shield, 2 triggers to pass. Twin drop, first check. No trigger, Burning Horn, safe. Second check. No trigger, Overlord. Persona Ride, lucky him. Ka-chink. Now here comes
Vanguard に
Nahalem, 15k. No guard, gonna take it.
ノーガー
Ow!
ドダメージ
Damage check. No trigger, Emmeline. End of my opponent's turn, my turn. Stand and draw. I arrive from the right deck, Majesty Lord Blaster. Right deck cost, I am discarding. Blaster Blade, discard, and ride, Majesty Lord Blaster. I call to the rear guard, Blaster Dark, call. Blaster Dark skill. Nope, not gonna use a skill. Next, I call to the rear guards, Turnar, and Emmeline. Call. Emmeline skill, Soul Blast 1. Soul Blast. Check the top cards of my deck for a Blaster. And yes, Majesty Lord Blaster, adding to hand. Adding to hand and discarding for the cost. This is rough, so... With Cordelia's skill, I can Superior Call Blaster Dark after calling it, so I guess I can afford to discard Blaster Dark to hold on to Majesty Lord, discard Blaster Dark, and that ought to be enough for my main phase to the battle phase. First, Blaster Dark attacks the rear guard Nahalem, 10k. And then Emmeline's skill plus 5,000 power. Thanks to Cordelia, grade 2s can boost. The attack goes through. Slash, one less card to worry about. Boosted by Cordelia, Majesty Lord Blaster attacks the Vanguard, 21,000 power. Skill of Majesty Lord. I move Blaster Dark into the soul. To power up and critical up, Emmeline's skill, another 5,000 power.
パワープラス
He perfect guards, oh no!
スキル発動
Skill, he is going to discard a critical trigger, Twin Drive first check,
ドライブトリガー
no trigger, Elementary Sanitude, nice, second
チェック
check,
ザドライブトリガー
yes, heal
ヒール
trigger!
トリガー
I heal 1 point of damage, healing and giving power to the rear guard Turnar, healing and power up,
チェックザドライブ
third
トリガ
check,
ーゲット
yes, draw trigger! I draw a card, draw, I drew another critical, giving power to
パワ
Turnar.
ープラス
My attack may have failed, but I still have a lot more to go going for me. Next up, Cordelia's skill. Counter Blast 1, Counter Blast. Superior Call a Blaster Blade and Blaster Dark into one column. Blade and Dark, Blade and Dark. Call.
ベリオルコール
Boosted by Blaster Dark. Blaster Blade attacks the Vanguard, 20,000 power. Again with Emmeline's skill, another 5,000 power.
パ
Power
ワ
up.
ープラス
The attack goes through. Slash. Damage check. No trigger, Burning Horn, safe. Now boosted by Emmeline. My Turnar attacks the Vanguard, 55,000 power. The attack goes through, and boom! 1 damage. Damage check. No trigger, perfect guard, 1 less card to worry about, safe. End of my turn, my opponent's turn.
ドローさらなる高み
Oh, he's cross riding instead of persona riding.
ライド
The end and he calls Burning Horn skill, searches deck for an Overlord, nothing happens, so he countercharges, and calling Classic Overlord, 13k to Vanguard. Guard with a draw trigger, Parabi, guard, 18k, that ought to do it. Ka-chink! Now here comes the end, 18k, skill Burning Horn plus 5,000 power.
パワープラス
No guard, gonna take it.
ノーガード
Twin
チ
Drive,
ェック
first
ザ
check.
ドライブトリガーゲット
Ah, draw trigger, lucky him. He draws more cards and powers up Burning Horn. Second
チェ
check,
ックザドライブトリガー
no trigger, Gojo. Safe, so 1 damage.
エターナルアポカリプス
Here comes. Ow,
ダメージ
damage check. No trigger, perfect guard. That's not good.
来たれ
The end skill.
終焉の始まりだエターナルアポカリプス
He restands his Vanguard, discarding for the cost 8, 2 cards, and Togashirashi's skill into Soul.
ヴァンガードにアタック
18k from Vanguard.
スキル発動だパワープラ
That's
ス
30k to Burning Horn. Should I guard? I'm gonna let Burning Horn go through, so I got plenty of perfect guards, but I don't really need that many counter blasts, so I might as well guard this attack with Invigorate Sage. Guard, Invigorate Sage. Skill of Sage, plus 15,000 shield. Power up. That's 38k, 2 triggers to pass. Let's check. Ah, critical trigger. I made the right choice. He's giving it all to Burning Horn. And here comes the second check. No trigger, the end. Oh no, a Persona Ride. Lucky him. Ka-chink. Now here comes Burning Horn with 40,000 power. No guard, gonna take it. Ow. Damage check. Ah, critical trigger, wasted a critical. Well, this is rough. Critical up and power up, but this is not good. Second check. Ah, Persona Ride, come on, I could have used that. End of their turn, my turn. Stand and draw. Drew another counter charger. It's time to Persona Ride. Here we go. Majesty Lord Blaster. Persona Ride. Power up and draw. I drew, yes, another Persona Ride. Lucky. That's it for my main phase to the battle phase. Boosted by Blaster Dark. Blaster Blade attacks the Vanguard. 30k. Emmeline skill plus 5,000 power. The attack goes through. Slash. Damage check. No trigger. Safe. Now boosted by Cordelia. Majesty Lord attacks the Vanguard. 31,000 power. And then Majesty Lord's skill. I move Blaster Blade and Blaster Dark into the soul. Blaster Blade. Retire rear guard. Retiring. Burning Horn. Blaster Dark into the soul. Plus 1 drive. Emmeline skill. Plus 5,000 power. Power up! Keep perfect guards! Oh no! Perfect guarding whiffs, discarding a critical trigger. Twin drive, first check. Yes, heal trigger! Lucky! I cannot heal but give more power to turn R. Second check. No trigger, Blaster Dark. Not too bad. Third check. No trigger, Cordelia. I suppose it's an okay drive check. My attack may have failed, but now, one more time, Cordelia's skill. Counter Blast 1. Counter Blast and Superior Call from the Soul. Blaster Blade and Blaster Dark. Blaster Blade and Blaster Dark. Call. Not using their skills. Boosted by... Hold on. Boosted by Emmeline. Turn R attacks the Vanguard. 50k. Does he have any more perfect guards? Nope, the attack goes through, and boom! Damage check. No trigger, 6 damage, I win! That was a pretty okay fight. I got to try the new cards in this deck pretty well and make it work to help me win, so I got win, double trigger, attack 50,000 more power, did a Persona Ride, 6 turns passed, did a Superior Call, retired 5 or more opposing units, I got 1950 VP, total VP, 255,000, 425 VP. Pressing A to go next, leaving the fight, returning to the fight menu. Here we are in the fight menu, leaving fight menu, going back to main menu. Back to the main menu to edit deck menu. And of that, the deck's been built, card effects explained, and I just finished testing the deck out in front of you. So first I want to say is, thank you to the viewers for watching today's video, and to please stay tuned for more videos I plan to upload again in the near future. I also will show support by liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing to my videos and channel. And of that I say, goodbye and see you all soon!